Hello there, folks, and welcome back to Math TV. I know you've been really anxious to get going on this kind of stuff again, so here we go. In Chapter 5, we are starting talking about multiplying polynomials, and so you'll see before you a very basic multiplication problem. But I want us to think about multiplying in a little bit of a different way. This is actually kind of exciting if you think about it, because it's going to be a totally different way you think about in terms of multiplying. 6 by 8, or 6 times 8 is 48, we all know that. But you can also represent this pictorially. If you imagine a rectangle with a length of 8 and a width of 6, then multiplying would simply be the area of that rectangle. In other words, it would be 48, or 48 units squared, whatever the units are. So we can imagine that multiplication problems are just trying to find the area of shapes with given dimensions. So then we can apply that to larger numbers as well. Like, for example, this problem here, 15 by 12. And now, again, you'd probably pull out your calculator. Some of you who are really good could probably do it in your head, multiply 15 by 12 and come up with the correct answer. But you can also, again, picture this as a rectangular area problem. In other words, a rectangle with a length of 15 and width of 12. Okay, but is there a better way that we can picture this? And there is, because we've actually learned how to solve area problems using a little trick, and that is by dividing it into smaller sections that we can find the area of easily. Like, for example, if you had something like this, just a little aside here, if you had to find the area of this type of shape, you would most likely break it up into two smaller shapes that you could easily find the area of and then add them together. We can do the same thing with the previous problem. If you break this up into smaller areas, you can easily find the area of. Okay, now I've broken up into some smaller areas there, and the reason why I've done that is because I have a 10 by 10 square right here. This is going to be 100. That's really easy to do. 100 there. And then 2 by 10, that's just going to be 20. And then this guy right here, well, that's going to be 5 by 10. That's going to be 50. And then 2 by 5 is just 10. So the total area is 100 plus 50 plus 20 is 170 plus 10 is 180. So the answer is 180 units squared. Well, I'll just leave it squared out. And that's how we can do it like that. And that works for for even larger problems. Let's look at the next one here as well. Actually, before we do that one, let me try another one here just like this. Okay, so before we move on to a bigger problem, why don't you try this? This is kind of fun, right? You know, for math and everything. Break this up into smaller rectangles that are very easy to find the area of, like 10 by 10 and whatever's left over, like I did last time, and just work out the total, the answer by finding the total area. So stop the video, try that now. Okay, so assuming you actually stopped the video and tried, you would have broken the rectangle into these areas. Obviously, mine's not to scale because this should be a big square here in the top left. But if you add in all the areas of each of those rectangles really quickly, you can quickly add up all of them and get the total answer, 234. And so like I said before, this does work even with larger problems. Let's look at this one really quickly. So something like 105 times 87 would also work the same way. And if you wanted to just stop the video and try it, you could. I'll just quickly do it for you, even if you stop the video or you don't. Here it goes. So I broke my rectangle up that way, which makes it really easy to find all these other small areas. And just so people know what we're doing in case you can't figure out what I'm doing, the area of this space right here, I'm just going to do the length times width. So 80 times 100 is 8,000. And then 7 times 100, that's going to be 700 there. And then for this area here, that's going to be 400, 5 times 80, and 5 and 7 give you 35. And if you add up all of those, you get the answer 9,135. So it does work, and you can even try maybe some bigger problems, whatever. But the reason why we're showing you this now is because multiplying polynomials together can kind of work the same way, and I'll teach you a couple different methods, one using this type of thing, and another one just using a simple mental rule that you can use. But either way works, and just kind of a different way of looking at it. So in the next video, we'll see how it applies to polynomials.